And tonight on our Great American panel, he is the author of Once a Marine. California Republican congressional candidate Nick Popaditch is here. He's a Democratic pollster. Fox News contributor Doug Schoen, of course, is back with us. She's an attorney, columnist with Chicago Now. Corey Fettman is here. Guys, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
If there's any doubt about the mood of the country, I want everybody to see this. A League of Women's Voters debate and Republican Joe Walsh, and they didn't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance. And watch how the crowd reacts.
I'm sorry, do I have a point of order?
Are we going to say the Pledge of Allegiance?
No, we are not. That's not part of the proposal tonight. Excuse me. I have absolutely nothing for or against saying the Pledge of Allegiance at the beginning of something like this. But, in fact, that has never been part of
Come on. Wasn't that a great moment?
Fantastic. They weren't going to be denied that one. They just stood up and let it go. And that's great, because this country is very important. We pledge that allegiance, and we talk about the responsibilities we have.
Like, well, we've never done this before. Why doesn't it say something about the mood, though, of the electorate?
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
And she goes on record and says that she's neither for or against the Pledge of Allegiance. How can you're either pregnant or you're not?
The American people are unabashedly for unity and for our commitment to core values. That's what that says, and that's why that's so important.
How can you be against the Pledge of Allegiance? I don't even get it. Plus, why did she make such a big issue about it? She called attention to herself by making an issue. She should have just said, okay, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, The View is back in the news. Joyless Behar. She once called me dangerous to America, by the way. She's talking about Sharon Engel in this piece. Imagine any conservative saying this about any Democratic candidate or office holder. Imagine what the reaction would be.
I'd like to see her do this ad in the South Bronx. Come here, come to New York and do it. And we're praying for you. We're praying for you. Enjoy it. I'm not praying for her. I'm praying for everybody. I'm praying for hell. I'm praying that her heart gets to hell.
She's going to hell, this bitch.
I'm so sick of Joy Behar and her liberal crybaby stuff. All she's trying to do is get ratings for her show. That's all she's trying to do.
I'm a little surprised. I don't even know what to say about it.
Well, Sean, everybody, left, right, and center, should lower the rhetoric. Our problems in America are so serious and so trenchant that we're going to have to come together to deal with our budget issues and our political challenges here and overseas. And this doesn't help. This hurts, and it's wrong, and it's wrong-headed.
1 week from tonight, are you going to be vindicated from all the critics that have attacked you as a Democrat, saying that your party has gone way too far to the left?
Pat Caddell and I are going to be proven right. We're centrist Democrats. We believe in unity. We believe in social moderation, progressive, and fiscal discipline. We're going to be proven right because the American people are going to reject policies that are out of step with their worldview.
When the Democrats unleash this vitriol and anger as they do you think that hurts them? Does it help to attack the Tea Party? Does it help to demonize talk radio and Fox News? Or is there going to be a backlash? Does that reinvigorate, I guess, a group of patriots out there that are already fed up with all this stuff?
There's a backlash that's happening already. The American public is tired of this. They're tired of the language, of the... We don't want to hear what you have to say, so we're going to call you names. And those other ladies, I tell you, they sit there and listen to said about Sharon Engel, and then they say, oh, we'll pray for you. I mean, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. I don't know who the heck watches that show anymore.
Well, I have some friends on there. I mean, there's some nice people. I've been treated well when I've been on there, but I'm like, wow, that's out of control. We got to take a break. More with our great American panel right after the break.
This program is brought to you by the Extra and order your tickets now.
And welcome back to Hannity Now. We have the results of Text Vote Tuesday. Now, we asked who you thought this midterm election was a referendum on. 66% of you said it was a referendum on the anointed one, President Obama. 22% said it was on establishment candidates. And 12% of you said it was on Pelosi and Reid. Interesting results. Reaction?
I think that the American public is disenchanted with the Democrats. I think Obama is all about Obama. He's a megalomaniac. The last 2 years have been all about his policies and what he wanted to do. He's not listening to the American people. He got up there 2 years ago. He criticized Bush's deficit, and now we're at triple the deficit.
Sean, this is a reaction against failed policies. People, as Corey correctly points out, are upset with the debt, the deficit, and the health care bill. Pat Kinnell and I warned that a centrist health care bill would be accepted and that this bill would not. It hasn't been. And they basically think the Democrats have overreached.
So, I've looked at a lot of polls around the country. For example, there are a lot of districts where Obama's personal popularity still holds up a little bit.
Right.
Now, we have a Harris poll shocker out where the president's approval rating now has dropped to 37%, right, which is
the American
an all-time low.
People are people of goodwill. They still like the president personally.
No, but
they want him to
look
succeed,
at that poll.
but they think he's failed at his job. A lot of people make a distinction between personal and performance. The performance has failed.
Performance is a disaster.
Right.
Personal is dropping, which is normally the case.
But they still want him to succeed because we all want him to succeed.
Why aren't we running this like a business?
Wait, can I just say something? I remember when I interviewed Rush at the beginning of the Obama presidency, and he said, I want him to fail. And it made all that news. You know what? I don't want his policies to succeed. I want him to be a one-term president because he's doing so much damage with his failed socialist policies.
A centrist Democratic president like Barack Obama said he would be, I think you and I both would want him to succeed.
That's why he's having trouble in the polls right now, because right now he's campaigning, so he's out there only representing some of the people on a pretty extreme sum on who he's out there talking for.
Yeah.
He's talking about hand-to-hand fighting with his own people. He doesn't even talk that tough about our enemies. And he's talking about hand-to-hand fighting in the Congress. Now he's out there dividing people. When he got elected, he was elected on this platform that he was going to unite people. We were going to have one America, and now he's out there dividing us, calling for this group, that group, and people don't like
this. Is now. I'll show this. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. You know, again, it's no Democrats running on ideas. They're not running on any of the items that they passed, but they are running on attacking individuals. And this is just the latest, greatest example of, I think, what's part of a pattern of the Democratic Party.
I don't see any swastikas or any pictures of the president in blackface or burned in effigy here. The difference between the way we express our First Amendment right and the way I've seen Tea Party extremists, Republican Tea Party extremists express their right is dramatically different.
None of which has happened.
Anyone that listens to this woman should have their brains examined for brainwave activity. All she's doing is making the Democrats look worse. I mean, she doesn't even have a statement that's correct. What she said is not even correct about the Tea Party.
Yeah, but
clearly,
she energized the Tea Party.
But clearly, the Tea Party is something that they're afraid of. Otherwise, she wouldn't be making these statements.
Instead of demonizing, the Democrats should have reached out to the Tea Parties. Scott Rasmussen and I, as you know, Sean wrote a book called Mad as Hell, where we talked about that these are nonpartisan, fiscally conservative Americans who want to go back to core principles. Why not try to reach out and find common ground rather than demonize? Doesn't make sense.
Millions of folks going out to these Tea Parties all summer using their First Amendment rights, and they talk about these swastikas, but amazing they can't produce a single one out of these millions upon millions.
It was like people, the accusation that racial epithets were used when in fact they couldn't.
No evidence of it. It's corrosive and destructive. Just plain wrong.
Yeah. All right, guys. As always, good to see you. Thank you all for being with us. Good luck. You had your campaign going, all right?
Appreciate it, Sean. Thank you.
All right. Semper Fi, by the way.
Hey, Semper Fi.